The calls have doubled. We're talking about the number of people reaching out to the Davidson County REDLINE, needing help with addiction. New funds coming into the city could help with that demand. Nashville is expected to get $23 million from a national opioid settlement. News 2's Maya Owens explains.
It's being tracked every day. The increasing number of people seeking help from addiction in Davidson County.
900 to 1,000 calls in a month. Now it's much closer to 2,000.
Mary Lyndon Salter with the Tennessee Association of Alcohol, Drug, and Other Addiction Services says the opioid crisis is here.
The amount of opioids that had been prescribed over time, we were like the leading state in terms of opioid prescriptions for several years in a row.
With Nashville set to receive $23 million from an opioid settlement, Mayor John Cooper wants to use that money to help save lives.
I think it's a real crisis when people overdose that we can't say, come with me to treatment now. And unfortunately we can't. So that connection to treatment is something that the mayor's proposal is seeking to do.
It's called same-day access, working with emergency rooms and other providers to step in and give people resources right then and there.
They're immediately sick. They're in withdrawals, they're craving, they're shaking, they're nauseous, and of course their body is telling them you need to go use more substances to be able to manage what's going on. So if you don't have an alternative to offer them at that moment, they're going to go use again.
Salter explains the settlement money comes after drug companies advertised instructions on how to handle opioids, leading people to believe there was little risk.
Doctors prescribed them believing that as long as people followed instructions that there was a little to no risk of addiction, and that wasn't the case.
But once the medication stopped, the addiction starts.
So a lot of people ended up using things that were not prescribed because they can't manage the withdrawal, they can't manage the addiction.
Which is why the funds come at a much needed time. As doctors say, non-fatal overdoses have been on the rise in Nashville for the past 3 years. Now, the first payment of that settlement could come as early as May of this year. This comes right on time as new legislation passed that would require providers distributing opioids to also ask if the patient would like Narcan prescription as well. That new law is set to take effect in July. Haley.